here's another proof that you can use to help practice and make sure you got the proper mindset before a test on this stuff. This one is supposed to go fast. It's supposed to be one of the simpler ones, so maybe you can get it. We're given that angle GFH is congruent to angle GHF, and we can see them here in the diagram. Here's GFH and here's GHF. We can see the two. We're supposed to prove that angle EFG and GHF are supplementary. Let's draw those in so that we can get a good idea of what they're talking about. They're asking us to prove that this one, GHF, and this one, EFG, right here, we want to prove that those two are supplementary. So let's see what we can do. All right, I'm going to get rid of that. And we'll start off, of course, with given. That's kind of a no-brainer. Angle GFH is congruent to, and man, I would love it if when you were reading this stuff and writing this stuff that you were kind of saying it either out loud or to yourself. Make sure you know how to pronounce these things. And in this case, it's just given, so it's the big G. Let's try step number 2. Before I show you anything, I'd like you to hit pause and see if you can think of maybe one possible next step. Now, don't worry so much about getting the next step, but see if you can think of anything that you would do to begin to get from this given to this prove. Okay, I'm hopeful that you already hit pause and that you've had a chance to think about it yourself. Now I'm going to give you my thoughts. I think that because see where GFH is and see where EFG is, and I gotta kind of get from GFH to EFG somehow or another. GHF is already itself, so I'm thinking, well, look at EFG and GFH. Look at the two of them. It looks to me like there's a relationship between these two guys. Again, if now all of a sudden the bells are going off in your head, hit pause, see if you can write the statement and the reason, and if you want, finish out the whole darn proof. Okay, I'm hopeful that you paused and that you gave it some thought on your own, and now I'm going to give you my opinion. Let's take a look. So I think because of this relationship between GFH and EFG, and because I want to relate my given with what I'm supposed to prove, I'm going to say that GFH and EFG are supplementary. I'm going to say angle GFH and angle EFG. And by the way, I could have written it out as GFE or something like that, but because it's written EFG here, I'm writing it EFG there. I'm going to say these two are supplementary. Now, I'd like you to pause it for a minute and see if you can write the reason, and one way or another, we'll meet up in just a second. Here we go. Okay, hopefully you hit pause and you thought of a reason. If you didn't, it's okay, I'm about to tell you. The reason why GFH and EFG are supplementary, GFH and EFG, is because they're a linear pair. And we can say either definition of a linear pair, or I think there is a linear pair postulate, but if you wrote down either one, I would be happy with it. Definition of linear pair. If two angles make up a linear pair, they are definitely supplementary. Now, with that, I'd love it if you could finish this baby off and just do the next step. Hit pause, see if you can finish it off, put in the statement, put in the reason, and I'll meet you in just a few seconds. Okay, let's do this. Here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a third step. And for my third step, I'm going to say that angle, I'm going to say angle. Remember what we're trying to prove here, that EFG and GHF are supplementary. EFG is over here, GHF is over here. I'm going to say angle GHF, which is way over here, and angle EFG, I'm going to say they are supplementary. I think we proved it. Now, if you aren't following me how I got this, I'd like you to hit pause and look at all the information and see if you can put it together and see if you can figure out what the reason is. Okay, hopefully you figured out the reason. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. Let's see if we agree. I think what's happening here is I am substituting in place of GFH, I'm substituting GHF because GFH and GHF are congruent. It was given, so I can just take this guy and swap it out with this guy, and this is what I was supposed to prove, that GHF and EFG are, that is a G, believe it or not, that these two are supplementary. Now, if we technically want to be correct, it'd be nice to switch those two around, and I'm not even sure if there really is a rule that we would use for that. We might say that's the commutative property that allows us to switch those two around because they both add up to 180. But for right now, I would consider this a valid proof, and hopefully you wrote the reason here as substitution. Now, we're not going to say transitive property here because there was no chain of substitutions. There's simply one substitution, and technically it's the substitution property. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. We got through another proof. Again, I'd like you folks to go back and look at the other videos with proofs, look at the student journal, put your paper over your work, cover it up, and see if you can do the proofs that we've already looked at from scratch on your own. All right, good luck.